and still no sound. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for coming. I'm really surprised actually because it's 1 hour later than we planned, and I almost lost hope today. YouTube changed something in how it works, and I just couldn't deal with it before. So we were going to talk about compatibility issues and how to find out that this is a girl is for you when you meet her. So I gave to this live stream the name just what to ask a lady during the first 3 dates, but of course it's like I'm talking in general. Of course it can be 1 date or it can be 5 dates. It depends on the speed of couple, how you communicate, the dynamic in your couple. So you ask these questions when you feel it's right to ask them, of course. So adapt them to according to the situation and to the type of girl who is next to you. So let me know that you hear me now, and I will continue. Meanwhile, I will find what I prepared for you to tell today about compatibility questions. Let's talk about these questions finally. And when men and women apply to us, first of all, we of course we ask a woman about the type of life each of you have, the style of life that you lead, and also we discuss what's important for the person. And usually I ask every person about the values that she or he has in his or her life. And also it's very important to pay attention to this factor when you meet a woman and you think you could begin future relationships with her. So you should have the same values for this to be successful in the future. Because we can talk about the same interests, of course, the same views on life, but values are highly important when you choose a couple. Actually, many things play some role in building good relationships, but if we take too many and if we will analyze each of them, possibly in this case it will be really difficult to find a match for you, because the more criteria we have, the more it gets challenging. But when we talk about values, I think on values you should base your search, you base your relationships, and when you have similar values with a woman, you will have more comfortable, more fulfilling, more happy relationships, because you will both probably like the same things. You will put the priority to the same issues in life, and it will then you won't have many of conflicts. So when we talk about values and you go on a date, first of all, of course, there is a small talk on the date. On the first date especially, you discuss such simple things like weather, how you come here, or what you think about this coronavirus, and so on. But then you go to deeper questions, of course, if you like her and if she likes you too. Let me read your comment. I hope to find a girl with similar values to myself, but I won't be able to find that out till I go on a date with her and get to know her better. Yeah, correct. But in matchmaking process, we also pay special attention to finding out what values you both have. That's why many men apply to us. They want to save their money, they want to save their time, and their efforts on the search process. So we make the selection work instead of men. And as I told, we talk about values with men and women. But if I ask you or any person probably what values you have in life, you will name something. And I noticed that actually many people have the same. They say the same words about values. So we may think that in general we all have the same values, but recently I learned one interesting method how to find true values and how, thanks to it, build your life in such a way that will help you to be just happier yourself, even if you don't have a couple yet, if you don't have a match yet. So we use it now in our agency too. We talk with a man and with woman. According to this methodology, we ask special questions, and because of this methodology, we have a clear understanding of real values. Because for example, the value like such as family, very well spread, and actually many people would like to have it in their life, and they name it as a value. When we go deeper, family happiness can be very different for different people, and they see it in different ways. So when we talk with man and woman, we should understand it too. And also, I don't hide that we use gut feeling when choosing a couple for you, a match for you. So we send you first a set of recommendations, recommended women, according to our impression about this woman for you, and you make the choice. You tell us if you like her, and then if she is also interested, you make a meeting possible. I'm sorry, my little one came again. I'm sorry, 1 second. Владик, я работаю, пожалуйста.
Там еще 20 минут.
Нет, все, выйди, пожалуйста. Я приду к тебе. As usually, he asks a phone to play. So when you go with a girl to a date, if you ask her just what are your values, some women even maybe won't understand your question clearly, because it's quite unusual question for date, for just ordinary communication of people. But you can ask just what is important for you in life, what you pay special attention to. So immediately you will know to which fields of your life, which spheres she pays special attention, where she invests her time, her love, and this way you can understand about your priority too. What can be the other question? Just what is your priority in life? What at this stage of life? So she can tell you too. Also, I think it's quite a good question to ask what your dream is. So probably if you meet a woman and she says that her dream life is just maybe much traveling and so on, job, career, you may understand she is not for you, because your nearest goal is to build a family and live just calm family life without too much traveling. Maybe you want to have kids very soon, so it doesn't go together with your goals so much. So it can be just a red flag for you. But of course you continue talking to her, and especially if you feel chemistry or a strong attraction to her, you just don't stop your date just because of wrong answer on this question. So you just check what she's like in the other aspects of life. So first of all, you should talk about values, to ask her what she does, how she sees her future, what are her goals for the nearest years. And I think that it also belongs to the question of values. Don't forget to discuss the issue about kids. We have actually very different clients, and some men write me that they even prefer women with children already because they don't want to have their own anymore, or they can't to have their own. So it's very important aspect because, for example, if you don't want to have children at all, and she's a young girl, or maybe even not young, maybe even 40, but she doesn't have children, and she patiently wants to have them, probably won't be a good couple, because sooner or later you will face the problem because she wants to have children, you don't, and it can be the reason of breakup too. But why to waste, to spend some time on these relationships that do not have future? Let me read your question and we continue. What happens if I really like the girl, but we have certain values which aren't the same? Do I stay to try and make it work, or end the relationship and move on? You know, again, as human relationships, they're, I think, the most difficult field. There are too many uncertainties. And from my point of view, if you have very strong attraction for her, you like her so much, and just didn't hear that she has the same values, maybe you should continue, because in time, maybe thanks to love to you, some values, some her goals for the nearest can change, or you can discuss some issues and she will agree because she will be in love with you. For example, we have the same question about the religion. When Muslim men apply to us, I usually refuse, but I had many stories that thanks to love, many Ukrainian women, they change the religion in time, being married with this man already, so it can happen. Her goals too, for example, if she doesn't want to have children, but she's so much in love with you and everything is so perfect between you, and maybe just thanks to you, she will decide to have one more child, for example, just for sake of you. It could happen. So it's a very personal question, and it depends on the situation, depends on the exact couple. So when you discussed the values, or better to discuss the values in the middle part of your conversation, or even in the end, because they are the type of questions are quite deep, and they are about dreams, about very deep things. So in the very beginning, if you start with it, probably it will be kind of strange. You won't have enough of contact with each other in the beginning. You need to become very comfortable with her at first. So just in the beginning, small talks, easy questions, just such as about hobbies, interests, and then in the middle of conversation, if you have enough of connection, you can ask them. So what else you could possibly discuss? As I told you, values are the most important. Your lifestyle too. If you are well traveled, you love it, you enjoy it, and she does too, it's perfect. But actually, according to our situation in our country, we have many intelligent girls, but of course they don't live this type of dream life, like traveling all the time, buying expensive things and so on. So they are very smart, well educated and so on, but just because of the reasons of economy and policy in our country, they can't live these lifestyles that many men or women from Europe or USA or Australia can live. So just keep it in mind, and you can't always rely on the same lifestyle. So your next set of questions can be about hobbies. And it will be a wonderful surprise if you have the same hobbies. It would be perfect. So if you both love skiing, you can just enjoy it together. Why not? Of course, some psychologists say that it's even good to have different type of hobbies. So she can be reading while you go skiing, and it's okay. You still go together, but you do different things and meet in the evening, and both are happy to see each other. It can be a variant too. But if you both like something to do together, it would be wonderful. I think that at least 1-2 hobbies it's preferable to have. As for values, I forgot to tell you. Usually it's better to choose when you think about yourself, or if you apply to me to talk about more about your values. We will find out about 3-4 your main values in life, and when you talk about it with your girl, it's better to that you have for example, if you have 3 values, it's better to have at least 2 values the same with this woman. So at least one half or 75% of compatibility in values should be there. When you talk about hobbies, so you ask her how she spends her time, her free time, what she does, how she prefers to spend it, and so on. And it's very important, and I also ask my clients about it, to discuss the questions about role of man and woman in relationships in a family. Because, for example, if you expect a housewife, but she's rather very intelligent career woman, most probably you won't be connected so much, and you will be disappointed later. So it's better to just to ask this direct question: what is your opinion about the role of man and woman in the family? How you see it? What is your perfect family? How do you imagine it? I think this question helps a lot, and when I was on dating stage myself, I always asked this question, and ask men to answer this question, because it was a big sign for me if this man thinks in the same way as I do, or not. And if not, it's easy to split up in the beginning, then to go into relationships, fall in love probably, but then find out that you are not compatible in very important things. What else you could discuss? The question about traveling, also your preferable destination, your preferable type of travel trips. So, for example, some people prefer very comfortable types of traveling, while others prefer something exotic and something risky even. So it's better to discuss too. As we told also that you should discuss the question about the kids, and also when you can ask her about relationships that she would like to have in her life, what's important for her in them, and by according to her questions you can understand if you really can give it to a woman in relationship, or no, you are not that type of person. For example, when you ask her that question, she can answer it's important for her to have next to her very caring, tender, very sensitive man, but you understand about yourself you are rather not emotional person who is usually busy with career a lot. You are not very warm, so maybe it's not a woman for you, because there are also many other women who are happy with just having successful men next to them and giving gifts, for example, or constantly, or providing a good life level, and they don't care that if you are next to her so often or not, if you are sensitive or not. Actually, many business people, they are not so sensitive, especially men. They are more like about success, about goals, and of course in many aspects at work they are quite strict, and usually doesn't go together with sensitiveness or tenderness in a person. So Никочка, закрой, пожалуйста, дверь. Все, я работаю. So kids are here, so think much before you decide to have kids, my friends. It's always fun at your home when they appear, and it starts, and it seems it will long forever in my life. So what else it's better to discuss? Your point of view about charity and helping other people, and you can even see what is her attitude to people surrounding you, about to waitress, to people on the street, even to everyone with whom you meet when you are on a date with her, and how you monitor how she what is your attitude to other people. It's very important. If she is very sweet and nice with you but very rude and arrogant with waitress, possibly it's not a right person at all for everyone, I would say, because if she's kind to everyone. Mila Jackson, lol. Lol, it's about kids. So these were the main things that I wanted to say about asking a question on the first dates. You can ask them during 1 date or 3 dates, depending on the type of connection that you have with a girl. So put special attention to values first of all, to maybe to kind type of lifestyle. Pay attention to the question of having kids, roles of men and women in relationships. Then talk about hobbies, traveling aspect. And that's all. That's the main issues, and I hope it helped you. And if when you go on a date and you are charmed, everything is so fine, try to remember this video and what we just discussed with you, and share with me then if it helped you or not, if you are able to remember, of course, because I noticed when men are charmed, they forget about everything. So just try. And as I told, if you want personal work with you about your values, to find out what your true values are and how to build your life in such a way that you would be happy in most of your days, just contact me and we will talk to you about it on a personal consultation. So I answer your questions now. How do people greet ladies on a first date? Do they shake hands, kiss on the cheek or both cheeks? I noticed that men from different countries, they are different. So Italian men, they are more inclined to kiss a girl right away on the first meeting. For example, German men, not so much. Originally I came from Russia, and I got accustomed that people just greet each other by words, but in Odessa people are very warm, and I was learned that they kiss each other quite often when they meet, when friends meet. But again, when you meet a girl, you can do any of this, what you wrote, or greet just by words, or kiss her. Again, in this question, I would suggest you to rely on your feeling. So if you have see a very strict girl, she looks at you kind of strictly or cautious, of course it's better not to kiss her so quickly. You can just say her hello or shake her hand, it would be enough. If you feel that you like her a lot and she's the same about you, you could kiss her. If you are doubting, I would just suggest you to say hello, maybe to open the door for her. If you go to a cafe, to touch her back, maybe when you go into the restaurant, something light. Kiss, it's more intimate, I think, and not all people would like it. Charming women confuse the mind. I know. I have a question to you, because I'm wondering about it myself for some time. So I was on a recent study of matchmaker, and we discussed how to choose woman for a man, and there was special attention paid to the girl's appearance and to the type of appearance that this exact client would like. At the same time, I was studying in the other place, and we paid special attention to the values, to the personality types that people have, and how to connect people according to this. And I have a kind of dilemma now. I noticed, of course, that you men choose women a lot because of their appearance. But still, I believe even for men, there is much more than appearance. It's personality, the type of character, because sometimes you can go to a date and you just don't feel anything special. Good woman, very beautiful, everything good, but you don't feel chemistry. So tell me now, what's important for you, how to find a good girl for you according to your type of woman that you want to find, who you want to find, or according to your personality type. What do you think? I drink juice, it's not wine, just in case, telling you. I'm happy that I've managed to come to you finally. I already lost belief in it and was trying to fix things, and suddenly it started to work. The thing that is important to me is her personality type and how she acts, and like we discussed, her values. Yeah, I agree with you here, because after all we get all accustomed to the greatest beauty in the world. For example, if you have a nice house, very beautiful, the most beautiful in the world, in some time you will get accustomed to it. And the same is about people who are around you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your warm comment. And actually I thought there won't be anyone at all, because I missed 1 hour. But I'm really flattered that you are here and we are talking. Mila writes, men want it all beauty in the outside and the inside. What we find is one or the other. Did you try to find a woman who combines it all, or not? Have you had a chance? I believe that there is no good or bad personalities. There is just compatibility. And in this question, I always remember the couple of happy alcoholics. I guess you saw many of them just on the streets. They are drunk, not neat, but they are together and they are happy. So it's just about the compatibility. And also, they are rare. Maybe so. For women, it's easier, because we appreciate attitude a lot, and if even man is not maybe not so much good looking, or not the sporty and so on, we can not notice it in some time if there is the right attitude to us, if man is caring, loving, paying special attention to you, and so on. So maybe you have more questions. One more comment. I have certain looks in a woman that I go for, but if the lady has a personality I go for, this can attract me more. Write me please what personality traits are important for you, and what about the appearance, what type of girls you usually like. Recently, finally, I got the book. I ordered the one of American authors, the Americans, about the rules of dating, how to build successful relationships. It's for women, and they write that women with flat hair and long hair, blondes, are more popular. But I guess they're writing about American society more. So what do you think? It seems like the Ukrainian ladies don't ask for much in a man, so it's strange that so many are single. Yeah, I told you about the statistics. There are actually more women in our country than men. And yeah, each of us have our own life, and the values changed a lot. Now women, even in Ukraine, they became more free, more emancipated than before. Now it's allowed to get divorced. Not like even in the times of my mother, it was a bad sign to get divorced. Now we can do it as soon as we don't feel happy in marriage. That's why I think there are many single people actually. But when I was studying psychology, family psychology, we found such a term, and I just remember it for all my life. It sounded like serial monogamy. It's about monogamy, but it lasts only for 5-7 years, for example. Then there is the next partner, and again, he's or she's only for you, but only during some few years. So it's monogamy, but it's like changing. People are changing during all your life. I don't know it's good or bad, but it's a fact of our life actually. So I really recommend. Appearance-wise, I like brunettes with long straight hair and dark eyes. Hopefully not a smoker or alcoholic. Wants children and not a large age gap. Very realistic. Thank you for sharing. Interesting. Very realistic to find here such a girl. I prefer black hair or dark brown personally. Thank you. I noticed one thing that in psychology it's called transfer characteristics, but it's how the other people perceive you. And I noticed quite often I have clients when I ask them about the type of woman whom they would like to find, they tell me she should be your type. So I guess even when you choose a matchmaker or coach, you go to the person who is close to your understanding of the woman who you want to find. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it's what I noticed in my practice, and first of all I was surprised, now I got accustomed. So more questions? I always try to keep a realistic type, as I have plenty of girls in my home country that are not realistic. This is why I look abroad for the right lady. No, actually, our women are many. They're interested in marrying foreign men, and I think actually you can find a woman in your own country too. You just need to put enough time, effort, and your resources into this process. But actually not many people now have this opportunity, especially if you are busy working all the days long, and quite often I have men working till 40, 50s, and they are thinking about marriage. For how long did you study psychology? Actually, it was my second higher education at university, so it's officially 5 years. But as for second education, it seems it was 3 years here. And then I was studying Gestalt approach for about 5 or 6 years, as I remember, and then coaching, and then many different psychological master classes, webinars, and I continue doing all the time actually. So how to say, many years I would say now. Because university it's just the basics of psychology, but in psychology you need to improve your knowledge all the time, non-stop. Because the more I study, the more I understand that I should do it often and often, more often and more often. So much interesting information, useful information, many methods to work with the clients. But I'm not a psychologist who consults in difficult life situations or doing therapy. I don't do this on purpose. I have matchmaking as my main job, and I enjoy it, and I love talking with people about their future, their love relationships, about the building of couples. So I'm more in it, and reading and studying psychology more in the more about relationships, or work for singles who are in search of their second half. Yeah, it's psychology is very interesting. You will never stop to study it if you start. What type of characteristics do most Ukrainian women look for? Again, it's a very general question. If we go personally to each woman, there will be kind of different answers. But what we hear on our interviews, when we talk with the girls, when I talk even with my friends, single girls, they all take like men who can take care of them, who are sensitive, who can take care of your feelings too, who are able to, if she wants to have children. So these are men who can take care of children too, and can provide a family enough to have everything necessary for children. Many women write and say that their men should be strong as a wall, so they can rely on it. So we have much of information now, and also in psychology, that to find the right person, we should be independent too, very self-sufficient people, and so on. But still, many women would like to have someone more strong next to them. And actually, I think it's quite natural. I don't think that men and women are equals, completely equals. No, maybe at work, to some extent, yes, but not 100%. The next question: is the difference of culture or mentality ever vary between Ukrainians and foreigners? Of course, when you build relationships, there will be some issues connected with the culture. In one of my live streams, I told you that our women, they expect men to be active. If you are interested in her, you should make active steps towards her, to call her on a date, and so on. But Western men, they very often they wait for women to be active first. This way, they hope to understand that they are interesting for this woman. But our women, they also wait, and both wait. For example, also I noticed that European men often they think about partnership and marriage, like in sense of dividing expenses 50-50 and so on. But actually, I can't remember at least one woman who would like it in here. Some women think that it's okay if you are meeting just a friend, not your man. But many women wouldn't like it. So again, when you meet on the first 3 dates, for example, you can discuss the roles of man and woman in relationships, and you can find out what she expects exactly this girl, because all women, they are different. So the man should be a man and not passive is best. Yes, Milo, yes, correct. Activity for us, it's also about man being able to be strong for his woman. So he shows his interest this way. He shows that if he is interested, he is ready to make actions. He is ambitious. He is goal-oriented, persistent. It's all good qualities for a man, as we can see it here too. So I can, as I told you many times in my live streams, I can answer just generally about this situation and culture here. But when you go on a date with Ukrainian woman or Russian woman, you ask her questions and you find out what's really important for this woman, how she sees the relationship, what she expects from you as a man, and so on. Yeah, and it's better to discuss these questions in the very beginning of relationships until you fall in love. Because falling in love, being in destructive relationships, being unhappy, then breaking up, sometimes it takes just several years. And why to make your heart broken this way? It's better to find the right person right away. So I think myself that applying to matchmakers would be the perfect for me too, because again, I was working and I'm still working quite a lot. And when I go to the agency, give my profile and telling them whom I want to find, and I just wait for the right person to appear. It's perfect in a modern life, with a modern speed of life. Is there a difference in the mentality between a Russian lady or Ukrainian or Belarusian, or are they all similar because of the Slavic culture? Of course, definitely they are very different. I told you when I came from Russia, I was surprised by the beauty in Odessa, by the beauty of women. They are all here more stylish, more using more makeup, more taking care of themselves, wearing very beautiful feminine clothes. And at these times, 16 years ago, when I came here, there was a style wearing heels all the time. So they were doing all this. While in Russia, in my city, women were looking like more modest, not like that. And what I noticed, Ukrainian women, they are ready for marriage with foreign men, while Russian women now are quite cautious about it, and they are more closed, more reserved, I would say, more cautious, and just even by looks they can be different. In culture, I think in some aspects they can be different, but we are still very close to each other. As I heard about Belarusian girls, I never communicated with them too much, but they are quite modest too, and they are more naturally looking, definitely, than Ukrainians whom I see here. Did you ever do international dating yourself? Actually, no. I have many friends and some had some admirers, but actually, no. Or at least I didn't have long-lasting relationships. I was either in marriage or short divorce period, and then again marriage. So only time I start to enjoy time of being single. Before it was relationships all the time, one after one. I guess I was too young. Now I stopped for some time. No, thank you. Elena has so expressive eyes. Thank you. I just can't talk to you this way, only eyes and some part of my hands. As soon as we are in video stream only. Tell me please now, during this quarantine time, how you date. Do you actually use Skype dating now or Zoom dating? What are your impressions after dating online if you do it? Actually, I am not married now. Now I'm in divorce process. Second time. As I told you, I stopped, but not because I'm married, but because I need a pause just for myself to make reflection, to understand something about last relationships, and to make conclusions to avoid the mistakes in the future. So now I study a lot, and this topic of my work and my study, it is very close to actually to my value. It's in relationships. I think family, love in relationships, they are my top priorities. So all my interests are connected now. Thank you. Yes, I'm trying to enjoy being a single. I try to learn how to do it and not to go into some relationships very quickly. Yeah. I'm often asked the question, and even by my friends, how you work in this field, and how you can be not in a couple, not having a match now, actually. But I always answer that to meet a right person, first of all, you need to be single, correct? Because it's not honest to find someone other while you are in relationships, in the other relationships, or you are breaking someone's heart. So for me, it was easier just to break up, to finish one relationships, and officially and openly, and then to build my personal life from the very beginning without hurting anyone. So comment, I have been single for 4 years. It's not that bad, not to worry. I agree with you, and I even don't notice any problem because of it now, because I put my time into self-improvement, my work, my kids, and my days are so full that I don't even sometimes not in time to sleep enough. So it's not boring at all. Milo, 6 years. Yeah, you know, it seems for me it's like sounding like a record, very long period of time. Great. Yeah, I think that being single, you pay more time, you have more time for yourself, for improving yourself, for doing what you really enjoy, and just in the right moment you meet the right person. And all the psychologists say, until you healed yourself, until you're a healthy person, there is no chance to find the appropriate partner, because there will be the same partner like you are, maybe with the same issues, with the same problems. So in order to build healthy relationships, first of all, the person should be healthy, because we usually attract the people who are a lot like we are, as we discussed with you, similar in values, similar in some of your hobbies. So if you want happy, healthy person, psychologically healthy, to attract him into relationships or her, we need to become this type ourselves first. Yeah, now I start to understand people who tell me that they didn't have time for relationships. Before, relationships were so important for me, I couldn't live without them. I just enjoyed the process of dating, knowing person, falling in love, and usually all my relationships, they lasted for several years. And recently I counted and found out that I spent on long-lasting relationships for more than 11 years of my life, so it's quite much. It's now time for myself. You know, when studying psychology and doing my job, I know more and more how to write, how to find the right person. But for me, there is a restriction to find this person thanks to my job. Again, my friends ask me, "Oh, you see so many good men. Why don't you choose someone for yourself?" But when I was studying matchmaking from American teacher, there was even the rule, it's not ethical, it's not right to build relationships with your clients. And we have the same rule in psychology. You can't build your relationships with a client whom you consult or with whom you are doing therapy. It's not just right, it's not ethical. And I support this rule, and I never plan to build relationship with some of my clients. Actually, I am asked this question almost every interview, but no chance. Yeah, I mean 11 years in general, so several years first marriage, 7 years second marriage, and meetings, having boyfriends long lasting between these marriages. So it's like that. Maybe you have more questions about compatibility in a couple. Tell me please, when you dated girls for a long time or you got married, tell me please how you chose your spouse. What were the signs for you that thanks to them you understood that you are a right couple, you're the right couple? What were your compatibility signs, your personal? What is it for you? So I'm waiting for you, interested to understand how you feel, how you find out that this is the right woman. So I'm reading a new comment. I couldn't really explain it. I think we just matched each other perfectly in what we were looking for in a partner. It wasn't one thing but a host of different things which made us compatible. So you just felt, or you understood by mind that you want the same things? Or it was mainly the feeling? Did you understand it from the first meeting, or you opened it during the set of meetings? How it happened? Because again, some psychologists say it's about chemistry, like about something mysterious, unpredictable, and so on. While others tell that it's quite predictable when you meet the person similar to you a lot, whom you like from her, if you like her appearance, if you like her physically, you're attracted to her physically, plus you have same values, interests, and hobbies, some maybe views on life, then you for sure will be attracted to each other. What do you think? So Mila, can you tell me about your compatibility scheme? How do you feel it? So I'm reading comment. I didn't feel it from the first meeting, but from third meeting and going forward, I felt like she was very good and matched me very well. I didn't find her very attractive. Thank you for sharing. That's what we discussed here, that personality is very important too, not only appearance. So I'm reading the next comment from Mila. I was married when I was 21 to a girl I knew since I was 11. Wow. I believe that we were never in love, we just thought we were. We were like water and oil as far as our personalities go. So how many years have you been married with her? Actually, I don't really believe in such stories because, if you spend some certain time together, not just 1 month but several years, it means you had a connection for sure. You couldn't do it without your goodwill, correct? And again, sometimes when I have clients who having many children one by one, and they tell me we never loved each other, I hardly believe to it. That the intimate relationships so frequent, so many kids they are telling about love, but maybe there is a dynamic in every couple, and things change with the time. So maybe sometime you was in love, some time ago you was in love, things change, and now you lost this feeling, but it was definitely in the beginning if you spend so many years together. Sometimes I get the questions from women too, how to find the right man right away, how to find the right man with your help. So that I would be sure that it will be 100% happy marriage. And I say that we can understand the main things about the man and woman in the beginning. We know how you live, what type of life you have, what you have to offer in relationships, and so on. But there is dynamics in a couple always. So it depends only on you and on a woman, how you develop your relationships, what you do in them, if you take care of yourself, if you really talk with each other deeply, not about only routine things. all this plays a great role in how you build your relationships and how they will be finished later, or they will last forever happily. So one new comment from Mila: we were always friends, and it was like the love of a close friend, not in love. Actually, friendship is good for relationships too. Without friendship, happy marriage is not impossible at all. So I guess part of compatibility you still had. So dears, let's stop. Let's finish for today. Thank you a lot for coming today, even though I came just 1 hour later. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for this talk, for your comments, for your questions. I will definitely continue doing live streams for you. As you noticed, usually we choose one topic. I choose one topic, and later in the end of our live stream we discuss different questions that you may have. So prepare your questions for the next week. There I will be here again, hopefully the same day at 8 p.m. And I hope we'll have interesting talk, fulfilling conversation, and very useful for you. Thank you, dears. Thank you a lot. And unfortunately I can't read your name. I'm adopting, so I don't read it. Tell me finally what is your real name is. Vaux house, I don't know how to read correctly. I'm afraid to be mistaken, to tell the wrong name, so I don't pronounce your nickname. Solomon. Now I understand. You didn't tell me that it was you. Solomon, I understand. Thank you. Now I know, finally, that it was you. He was you. Perfect. Thank you for coming, for asking, for being so faithful in conversation. So I wish you good night if you have a nice soon, good day if you have a day, and hope to meet you the next week, and we will talk more. I enjoy talking to you too, Solomon. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always being here on my live streams. We will talk definitely in the future too. So have a good day, and see you soon.